Hello, students. Just a note on this homework for composite figures. It is not very nice to try to do number 4. I would suggest that you don't do number 4. If you do want to do it, I would highly recommend using a calculator to approximate to a decimal, maybe the nearest tenth, the nearest hundredth, to find some of these lengths and then plug them in to find the area. I'll give you bonus points if you do it, but I am not requiring you to do number 4 with the numbers as they're given. I'll be happy to do another one of these maybe on Monday with you, but you don't have to do number 4. It's pretty gnarly. Okay, number 1. These are composite figures, and composite figures can be divided into more than one of the basic figures. This is a rectangle, and it's combined with a half of a circle. We know how to find the area of a rectangle, and we know how to find the area of a circle. So if we find the area of this rectangle and then this area of the circle and take half of it, this is a half a circle, so we can find these areas together. The area of a rectangle is base times height. That's equal to 6 times 10, which is 60. So this is 60. And the area of the half circle is going to be equal to, let's do the circle, pi r squared, and then we're going to divide that by 2 because it's only half of the circle. Well, the radius is going to be, since this length is 6, the radius is going to be 3. It's half of 6. So I'm going to plug in 3. Pi 3 squared over 2, that's 9 pi over 2. So I'll add the area of the rectangle plus the area of the half circle. I'm going to leave it exact. Okay, number 2. This is a composite figure. We have a square and a triangle. The area of the square is equal to s squared, and that's 6 squared, so that's 36. And the area of the triangle is equal to 1/2 base times the height. So if this whole side is 8, and this part of the side is 6, then this is 2. So the base of the triangle is 2, and the height is the same side as the square, so that's 6. So it's 1/2 times 2 times 6, and that just equals 6. So the area of the triangle is 6. So we can add 36 plus the area of the triangle is 6, that's 42. Now to find the perimeter, or the distance, the edge, all the way around this figure, then we'll need to find the length of this side. We know that this is 8, this is 6, and this is 6, but we don't know what that is. We'll use the Pythagorean theorem. So x squared is equal to 6 squared plus 2 squared. 36 plus 4 is 40. X equals the square root of 40, which is equal to 2 rad 5. 2 rad 10. So the perimeter here, the perimeter here will be equal to 6 plus 6 plus 8 plus 2 rad 10. Now if I add that up, that's 12 plus 8 is 20, so the perimeter is 20 plus 2 rad 10. Now I'm going to back up. I didn't do the perimeter of the first figure, so I'm going to go back and do that one. So the perimeter is equal to the distance all the way around. So that's 10 plus 6 plus 10. Now this distance around is half of the circumference of a circle. Well, the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So we'll substitute in the radius of this circle was 3. So that's 6 pi. But we need to take half of that if we're going to just look at the outside of that. So that half of 6 pi is 3 pi. So 3 pi plus 10 plus 6 plus 10. So that's 20 plus 6, that's 26. 26 plus 3 pi. And that's the perimeter. Okay, number 3. Here's a figure that looks an awful lot like a rectangle with a chomp taken out of it, a half a circle. So to find the area of this figure, we're going to find the area of the rectangle as if it were whole and then subtract out half of a circle. The area of the rectangle is base times height, which is 8 times 4, which is 32. So the area of the whole rectangle is 32. Now the area of this half a circle is going to be equal to the area of the whole circle divided by 2. So the area is equal to pi r squared divided by 2. And we're going to subtract that from the rectangle. Well, what is the radius of this circle? If this whole side is 4, then half of it, this is the center of the circle. So this is a radius and this is a radius. They're congruent. So these are each 2. So the radius is 2. So we'll use that in our formula. Pi times 2, and that's squared over 2. Well, that's 4 pi over 2, which is 2 pi. So the half circle is 2 pi. The whole circle is 4 pi, but we're dividing that by 2 to get 2 pi. So the area is equal to 32, which is the area of the whole rectangle, minus the piece that's taken out, 2 pi. Now to find the perimeter of this shape, we'll add up the edge, the edge, the edge, and then half of the circumference of the circle. Add that on there also. So 8 plus 4 plus 8. 8 plus 4 plus 8 plus. Well, let's find out what this circumference is. The circumference is equal to 2 pi r. The radius is 2, so that's 2 times pi times 2, so that's equal to 4 pi. But we want half of that circumference, so that's going to be 4 pi divided by 2, which is 2 pi. So we'll add that to the rest of the edges. 8 plus 4 plus 8 plus 2 pi. So that's 16, that's 20. 20 plus 2 pi is the perimeter. Okay. Now, number 4, like I said, the numbers are really bad for this one. It would be very hard to do without a calculator, and I wouldn't recommend it necessarily. So, number 5, I'll do this one with you. To find the shaded regions here, we'll find the area of the whole circle and then subtract from it the area of the triangle. So the area of the whole circle and then subtract from it the area of the triangle. The radius is given to us as 6. So the area of the whole circle is pi r squared, which is pi times 6 squared, which is 36 pi. So from that, we'll subtract the area of the triangle. Now the triangle, we'll have to find the area of, we know that the side of each side is 8. It's an equilateral triangle. So each side is 8. I'm going to drop my height down here and find it. There's one of 2 ways I could find it. Remember, area is 1/2 base times height. So I have 1/2 times the base, which is 8. Now the height could be found using the Pythagorean theorem. If this altitude comes down at a 90-degree angle, it divides this into 2 equal parts. So these are each 4 because this is an equilateral triangle. So we could use the Pythagorean theorem here. H squared plus 4 squared equals 64. H squared equals 64 minus 16. I'm just bringing this over. H squared equals the square root of 48. And then simplifying that gives 4 rad 3. So that's the height. You could also recognize that this is a 30, 60, 90-degree triangle because every angle is 60 degrees in an equilateral triangle. And once we divide this down here like this, we have 90 and 60 and 30. So this hypotenuse is 8, then the short leg is 4, and the long leg is 4 rad 3. Either way, our height is going to be 4 rad 3. So I'm going to put that into the formula for triangle. The area of the triangle is 1/2 the base, which is 8, times the height, which is 4 rad 3. 1/2 of 8 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16, so that's 16 rad 3. So I'm going to take the area of the circle and subtract this area of the triangle. So the final area is 36 pi minus 16 rad 3. And that's the homework, Friday night's homework. I'll see you on Monday, and I hope you have a great weekend.